Pre-calculus student, in this video, I'm going to explain trig inequalities with the assumption that you know how to solve trig equation. In unit 1 or in the previous units, we have already learned how to do polynomial and rational functions. Now we are going to look at the trig functions. Now, inequality algebraically, graphically, you are supposed to know both ways. So first, let's take a look at graphically. F of x less than or equal to 0. So review quick. If you have this symbol, then we always use bracket. If you have this, then you use parenthesis because it's not included, which means this is inclusive. Now, less than or equal to, which means y values less than or equal to. Always pay attention to the domain. So for this part, solution is negative pi, if I use set notation, to 0 and pi to 2 pi. This is the solution. You can also use inequality, negative pi to x to 0 and pi x to pi. Same. Now, rarely you will be asked to use this is very easy question just to introduce the inequalities. So let's take a look at inequality algebraic form. Algebraic form means given equation. You will need to know how to use unit circle. Understanding of unit circle is very important. So for example, if it says what values of theta, now notice that 0 is including, but 2 pi is not, because 0 and 2 pi are both same. We are not looking for duplicate solution. We are looking for unique solution. Sine theta is greater than or equal to root 2 over 2. So if we are looking at this answer, so let's take a look at this first. Sine theta greater than or equal to root 2 over 2, which means y coordinate is greater than root 2 over 2. What values of angle on this coordinates, on this interval, y values will be root 2 over 2. So first thing, make connection. Root 2 over 2, that means medium angle. Medium angle means your answers are in terms of pi over 4. Okay. Draw the line, find out root 2 over 2 y values and draw the line. Greater than means on the circle, y values greater than this. So start from pi over 4, ends at 3 pi over 4. So how do we write the solution? Solution is pi over 4, including, check the sign, theta and 3 pi over 4. This is your solution. Expect multiple choice question, something like this, but again, this is a very simple one. Sometimes you have to consider more than one factor. So let's take a look at the other questions. Okay, so now here I'm going to use my ready notes. I'm having some problems with my flip chart, so I'm not going to write down everything. I will explain what's ready from my notes. So 4 plus 2 cosine x and g is equal to 3. F of x is less than g of x. So set it up, f less than g. Little extra step here you have to do it is subtract 4, divide by 2, which will give you cosine x is less than half. Cosine x is less than half, not equal to. So on a unit circle, cosine, it means x coordinate. X coordinate, this is negative half. Large angle, cosine is 1/2, which means large angles. Negative means second and third quadrant. Now less than means from here, this side all. So what will be these angles and how do I write? Which is 2 pi over 3 to 4 pi over 3. Sign should match. If it is not including, that means not including. So think of this as a one-step equation. Let's have one more practice problem. Is slightly different. 3 cosine x root 3 plus cosine x. So pause the video here and give it a try yourself. Let's see how would you do it. First of all, subtract cosine x. So 3 minus 1 is a 2. Divide by 2. So you don't have to show all this work. In fact, you can come straight here to here. Cosine x is greater than root 3 over 2. So on a unit circle, cosine is a x value. X value means this is a root 3 over 2. Angle is a small angle. Small angle means pi over 6 and cosine is positive in a first and fourth quadrant. So the fourth quadrant angle is 11 pi over 6. Greater than, which means I need all the numbers from this side, which will give you this side of the circle. But you can't go from 11 pi over 6 to pi over 6 because 11 pi over 6 is a bigger number. Pi over 6 is a smaller number. You can, if you say pi over 6 to 11 pi over 6, you are coming from this side. So that is also incorrect, which means you must stop at 0. So take a look at the solution. 0 to pi over 6 and 11 pi over 6 to 2 pi. You have to split the solution into two pieces. Because again, one more time, you can't come pi over 6 to 11 pi over 6. That will give you this side of the circle. If you go 11 pi over 6 to pi over 6, that inequality mathematically incorrect because 0 is in the middle. Okay, now sometimes we have to make a sign chart. We are going to look at some more complicated problems. So how do we make a sign chart? Well, we did already in polynomial and rational inequality. On the sign chart, we must show where the function is 0 and then you have to check the signs of positive, negative. I'm going to show you this example a little bit easier way and another way to do it. I'm going to show you both different ways. So first of all, let's factor. You must rewrite this in a factor form. Then only we can work further. Inequalities, whether it's a polynomial or rational or anything, you must know how to factor. So think about this. This is 2x squared plus x less than 0. You factor out x, 2x plus 1. Very similar. So I'm going to go on the next page where I have some more work there and I can explain here. Okay, so let's start from factoring, right? Okay, so now think about, I'm showing not sign chart, I'm showing different approach. You have two factors, 1 and 2. You are looking for negative answer. So think about common sense part. One of the factor has to be negative. Either first one or second one, doesn't matter. You have to check both of them. You have to check all possibilities. Then product of one positive, one negative, you will get a negative answer. So first of all, let's take a look at one scenario. The first scenario is sign negative and the second factor is positive. So I'm going to write sine theta is less than 0. And if I solve this, I will say sine theta is greater than negative half. Focus on only on one side. Okay. Sine theta less than 0, which means y coordinate less than 0. So I'm using this circle and this is my less than 0. I'm using color pencil. Feel free to use color pencil to understand the concept. Sine theta, y values less than 0. Now, y values are also, I'm looking for greater than negative 1/2. Greater than negative 1/2. Sine is negative 1/2. So angle is small angle. This is right, negative half. But we want greater than negative half. So I'm going to draw the line here. And I'm looking for greater than means this circle. Now, which part do you have overlapping? The solution will be, it has to satisfy both of them, which means this is this piece is the overlap. So let's list the solution. Solution is pi 7 pi over 6. So pi less than theta less than 7 pi over 6. Second is, here is a 11 pi over 6, right? And 2 pi, you can go to 0. So 11 pi over 6 and 2 pi. So this is based on one positive, one negative, but you must consider checking both p's. So sine theta is greater than 0. Now I'm looking at the second part, okay? And sine theta is less than negative half. So watch what this combination is. Sine theta greater than 0 means top half of the circle. And sine theta less than a half. So half is here. I want less than means below. Do we see any intersection? Here we had overlap, so that was a solution. Do we see any? Which means you will not have any common solution here, and this is your final answer. Now, different approach, traditional approach. This is the non-traditional approach. This is very, very helpful to understand without sign chart. So let's take a look at the sign chart. Still, some students prefer traditional approach. So let's talk about the sign chart. Sign chart is factor again, right? Sine theta, 2 sine theta plus 1. Sine theta is zeros. Find the zeros. You are finding the zeros. Then you are making a number line and you are showing all those zeros on the number line. This is 6. You are showing all the zeros on the number line. Then you have to check the sign of these two factors. Okay, so I'm using different color. Sine theta between 0 and pi is always negative, positive, and pi and 2 pi is always negative. So check the color. Red color is for this factor. I'm using different color. This is a blue color factor. 0 to pi, positive, positive times 2 plus 1 is positive. Not below pi and here. Now remember sine is a 0, but this is a negative number. Negative number times 2 and then you are adding, so that will be positive. This will be still negative and positive. So final product is this piece. We are looking for negative answers and check. This is the same solution as what we got here. So different approach, sign chart without sign chart. So let's take a look at one more example here. Okay, I would like to do one more example here where both positive or both negative. This is very interesting scenario. So first of all, you have to know how to factor. Without factoring, we can't go forward. And at this time, you have to know how to factor with a leading coefficient. If you are having trouble with the factoring with a trig function, go back to x and then figure out from positive, negative. 99% of the time, guess and check works well. So we have two factors, 1 and 2. We are looking for positive number, which means both positive or both negative. First scenario I'm looking at is both positive. 2 cosine theta minus 1 greater than or equal to 0, which means cosine theta greater than 1/2. Cosine theta plus 1 greater than or equal to 0, which means cosine theta is greater than negative 1. Okay, so let me use the circle and explaining the how to choose the part. Cosine theta is greater than half, which means large angle. Large angle means pi over 3, 5 pi over 3. And greater than half, right? Greater than half. This is my half line. You can see. So I'm looking for this piece. Greater than half. Okay, then cosine theta greater than negative 1. Greater than negative 1. Greater than negative 1. This is negative 1. Everybody is greater than negative 1. So I need this and I need this. So which is a common piece? Common solution, common overlapped answer is this. So how do we write the solution? 0 to pi over 3. You have to stop just like the previous example. And pi over 3 5 pi over 3 to 0. So this is my one piece of solution. Now you must consider the second part. So let's take a look at these, both negative. You must consider check. You can't make a solution based on the one part. So let's say both negative. 2 cosine theta minus 1 less than or equal to 0 is cosine theta less than half and cosine theta less than negative 1. Now think about cosine theta is negative 1 is at pi, right? Right? But not ever less than. It never goes the unit circle. So this is never going to happen. So clearly you can see this side there is only one piece of the graph. Cosine theta less than half. So this is less than half, right? The whole piece of circle, this part. But you have to consider this also, cosine theta less than or equal to negative 1. There is only equal to pi is a negative 1, but it's never going to be on the other side because it never leaves the unit circle. So that means on this side, there is a no solution. And clearly, answer is only this is your solution. That's it. Now, how do we look at the factoring part? So let's check it out. I'm going to clean up and show you one more time. And factoring solution. So check it out. 0 to 2 pi. We are looking for both positive. First quadrant, 0 to pi over 3, everybody positive. Multiply by 2 and subtract 1, still positive. Positive plus positive 1 is positive. Between pi over 3 and pi. That is one positive, one negative. You can clearly see back on this side, both positive. So you should have a clear idea about the unit circle piece is 5 pi. This is pi over 3 and 5 pi over 3. And then you are looking at positive, negative. So you should be able to see that they both will be only this side. That's the only one where they have everybody positive. And you can see the solution is the same as this, but yet you have to include the pi, which I forgot to mention in the other side. My bad. Now let me go back to this piece and add the solution is plus pi because pi is here. We forgot that. Equal to means pi. So from this side of the graph, we only get a pi. And for this side of the graph, we get this piece. So piece number 1, piece number 2, and piece number 3. 3 pieces of solution. Practice more problems like this we have given you in the worksheet. Thank you so much.